here are with her mother very strongly. I think she's now starting to see her dad's side. I think, as with all divorces go, you know, the children, and this sucks about divorce, that's why I never want to put my child through one, or child through one. Hi everyone, welcome back to Another Light Tarot. My name is Hallie. So grateful to have you all. Let's get into this reading. I'm excited to be doing 2024 predictions, so stay tuned for more. I've been doing them for the past 2 weeks. If you want to make a suggestion and you are a member, I will automatically make it unless it goes against my guidelines, and I'll let you know. If you aren't, you can always make a suggestion too. I can't promise I'll make it, but I'll take it into consideration. Before you do anything else, please like the video, subscribe. I'd love to hear what you say. If you're interested in commenting, please be respectful. Let's get into this. I'm doing Gigi Hadid 2024. And yeah, I've already pre-shuffled some cards, so let's get into it. So the energy that I got was like turmoil, you know, and I think I strongly energetically pick up some family turmoil. It could be what's happening, you know, her dad is from Palestine. I'm not going to get into it because people get heated, and I don't like to take political stances. This is nothing to do with politics. But I think a lot of what happened between her and her mother, I think a lot of the issues her parents had to do with culture, you know. So culture plays a big part in who we are. It's basically like our training ground, you know. I always like to look at it as like, if you train a dog, because, you know, we are fundamentally animals. I do think we are, I don't want to get too much into it, but training, we are basically trained. In school we're trained, in college we're trained, you know, in work life we're trained. We're very malleable people. And culture is the biggest trainer of our lives. And if you think about a dog, if you train a dog in the field, it would be very different to a domestic dog, vice versa. I'm not saying one culture is domestic, one culture is in the field. I'm just saying your surroundings play a huge part in who you are as a person. So that being said, I think Mohammed, Gigi's dad, Mohammed Hadid, he had a lot of things happen to him that made him a certain way. Same thing with Yolanda. Yeah, so let's just leave it at that, because I don't want to get too much into him, because he's a very controversial person. So is she. But the issues that I see her having here are with her mother very strongly. I think she's now starting to see her dad's side. I think, as with all divorces go, you know, the children, and this sucks about divorce, that's why I never want to put my child through one, or child through one. But if I do, I'd like to remain neutral and not say anything bad about the other parent, because it forces the child to choose a stance, and they might not be wanting to choose a stance. And I think children should be neutral. So with Six of Swords, the Hermit, and the Devil, I see there being, she's starting to see the side of her mother that a lot of people have told her about. You know, they've said, oh yeah, she's like this, she's very controlling. The Devil card is the card of Capricorn. Doesn't mean all Capricorns are devils. It's just every sign has a particular tarot card representative of that sign. And the Devil's associated with oppression. It's associated with things, addiction, with things that hold us back. And I think with Gigi, her biggest, what's the word? Her biggest, the main element in her dark side is her mother, and her mother controlling her, her mother telling her what to say, what to do, her mother forming her identity through being Gigi's mother. And, you know, I have said this for many years. I believe that Yolanda is a narcissistic parent. If you know anything about narcissistic parents, there's the golden child, there's the scapegoat, and so forth. I believe I grew up with one, and I used to be the golden child until I started to have an opinion. So Gigi is going to become, she's not going to be the golden child anymore, because she's going to start to have her own opinion. And I think that's what made Bella not the golden child, because Bella's always been her own person, you know. I think Bella has gotten along more with her dad, and in Yolanda's eyes, that has always, even facially, you know, she's darker, she's this, she's that. I think in front of everybody, Yolanda was like, oh yeah, my child is, I love all my children the same. But I think it's very evident that Gigi is her favorite. So the bottom deck being 4 of Cups, I think Gigi is now seeing that she gave a lot of her life to her mother and wanted to be controlled by her mother. And, you know, it's a web, you know, I've gone through it too, where I felt once I got out of feeling like I was under that particular parent's spell, because it can feel like a spell, because they kind of twist reality to distort it into a way that you want to see it, so that they always look like the good person. But once you start to see outside of it and realize, hey, they're human too, they have flaws too, you know, they were controlling me, it makes you feel like you missed out on a lot. And I see that happening with Gigi. I see her thinking, oh my gosh, I missed out on some of my life. Strength, 9 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. Even how Yolanda treats their child, Kai. I see Gigi being like, I don't like you to do that. I don't, you know? And that's often a catalyst for many people, that they feel like, okay, I was treated a certain way, but now that my child is being treated a certain way by this parent, I'm putting a stop to it. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to start to set boundaries. It's going to be very difficult. The Knight of Swords, because Yolanda is so controlling. So let's move on to career. I mean, I wish her the best. I really think that the Hadid children are good children. Anwar, Bella, and Gigi. I really think fundamentally they are good children. They and you know, I find that a lot about narcissistic parents. They often end up raising good children that take too much accountability, children that over apologize, children that over correct. And I had to realize that about myself. That's what I'm currently working on in therapy, is over being the perfect person, because growing up I wasn't, you know. I always felt, and you'll feel this if you have a narcissistic parent, you'll understand what I'm talking about, is that you feel like you'll never be good enough. And that was the foundation of me doing everything. So I used to work extremely hard, you know. Everything I do it like 100%. If I'm gonna lose weight, I become like the skinniest person. If I'm going to you know, get a degree, I'm gonna make sure that I do, like, stay up, work it late night. Like, it makes you like an all, well, how it manifested for me, and I see that with Gigi, it makes you an all or nothing kind of person, and a perfectionist, and the kind of person that is like can't stop until they get it right, which can be good, but if it's fueled from a place of insecurity and wanting others to like you based off of it, that is where it's a problem. So let's see her career. Career. Okay, so, well, lots of spotlight. 6 of Wands, King of Swords. I see one particular person, this could be Bradley Cooper, checking her out. We'll get back into the love. And 8 of Cups. So going away, traveling a lot, I think, for work too. Queen of Swords. And really, she's very logical, you know, and I think this has a lot to do with her upbringing too. She doesn't want to screw up, so she sometimes overthinks things. Bottom of the deck being Ace of Cups. But there is somebody that she's been working with that is interested in her romantically. We'll get into it in the love section. Then I just want to focus on the career. I was accurate too about a lot of what I said about Gigi Hadid. Check that out. I said she's going to come out with like a design, like home goods, that type of thing. 2 of Cups. No, sorry. I said she's going to come out with like a suit line, like a clothing line that she has. Yeah, and a home goods. I believe I said that too. So 2 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and 10 of Swords. So I see her using, this is a very Sun and Taurus thing. I see her using work as a way to deflect how she feels. So, you know, when she starts to feel like things are happening in her life, I see her family life going very dismally, very fighting a lot at home. You know, her siblings aren't getting along. I see that a lot, and it's unfortunate because it's very sad. I think the root problem is Yolanda. But I see her finding solace in projects and work and photography. I see her like taking photos and stuff like that. 2 of Wands. And creating. She's very creative. I see that. So let's get into the love aspect of it, because I see, let's see who this person is. I've always believed and see it very strongly that her and Zayn will end up back together. But let's see here with the love. Okay, so I see her. I do think something was happening between her and Bradley Cooper. I see her, the Hangman, 3 of Pentacles, and 9 of Wands, deciding not to date him anymore. I think, especially with 9 of Wands, he reminds her of an ex she had. I don't think it's Zayn. I think it's somebody else who was older. I don't know if I did tell you guys the story. I met Bradley Cooper a few years ago. Not my cup of tea. It's actually kind of unfortunate. But he seemed very controlling. He was actually on a date with Suki Waterhouse at the time. He seemed very controlling of her. I was completely turned off. Yeah, I was just completely turned off. So I see that he reminds her of an ex she had, and she's starting to see a trend, a pattern in these type of guys. So 2 of Pentacles, she's going to be like, start juggle the idea of, okay, so what if we did work out? Or what if, you know, she's really, because I think she actually does have feelings for him, but they're not as deep as she wants them to be. She doesn't have that spark, you know? And when I met Bradley Cooper, I could be wrong, but okay, I'm going to give you an example. So I recently met somebody and they were romantically interested in me, and I felt like they were doing too much. I don't want to tell the story because he might watch this and I don't want to give it away. But it almost felt like he had an idea of he wanted to be with me. And because he wanted to be with me, he was like trying to control every single thing. If I was like, I'm trying to tell the story without giving too much away, because he's not a bad guy. I just felt like he wanted to control every aspect of me. So for example, if I was like, oh yeah, I'm hungry, which has happened to me before now that I think about it, but it comes across controlling. And this is the kind of example I'm giving because I see that here, where if you're like, oh, I'm hungry, they're like, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm hungry. Well, I know this great place, you should go. And it's like, I just told you I'm hungry. I don't need to be told what I should be doing. You know, it comes from a good place, but it's a form of control. And I get that energy here too, that I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but if she's like, oh yeah, I'm taking Kai on a stroll to the park, you should go to this park is the best. It's like, but I don't want to go to that park, you know, that energy, that it just feels forced. And it's kind of sad because I was really, personally, I was into that person, not really into, but I was considering giving him a shot at dating until he was like, well, you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, okay, but I've lived life for a long time. I don't need somebody to tell me you should be doing that. I like suggestions, you know, but it's a sense of control, and it's not a red flag, but it's a yellow flag or an amber flag. So the bottom of the deck being Queen of Cups, I see very strongly that she's going to choose herself. She's going to choose herself and be like, you know what? You're a cool guy. You're very sweet. But I just want to be alone. Knight of Swords. He's not really going to take well to it. He might send her some gifts. 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. and see if she's going to be dating. And he is a Capricorn too, Sun and Capricorns can be very controlling. But she really just wants to be Ace of Pentacles, Five of Swords. He's not going to take no for an answer very easily. I can see that. I can see that very strongly. He's going to be like, she's such a cool girl. Like, get very like, and trust me, I've had that happen that I know of twice, where the guy becomes obsessed with the idea of being with you rather than just being with you, you know. And it's a little like disheartening, because you're like, I'm a person, you know, and it's just controlling, really. So that's what I have for you all. By the way, I used the Lightseers Tarot for this deck. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all. Please like the video, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you soon. Take care.